On tour today?
Yes.
And Emily?
I'll chime in.
Alright, does everybody know everybody?
Back there in the hill, that's Paul.
Yeah.
That's our new mechanic.
Okay.
Andy, Justin, Troy. He does a lot of our welding. Another mechanic.
Alright, so I guess I might as well start. Since we're in here, we'll start here. If you guys want to take a walk around, this is the foreman office area. It's pretty tight. It's nice to have something else better, but what we got right now. You fit two people tight in there, third person trying to get through. You gotta get out of your chair and get move around. So I mean, it's just really tight. And then on the other side here, which would be like in the northeast corner of Emily's office, there's water that runs from under the wall to the floor. Leaks inside the building. So you know that. You guys know, and we're understanding. It's degrading. The building itself is leaking enough water. Anything else, Andy, you got after that?
So, being in, I'm a foreman, so you cannot have a private conversation anywhere in this building because the doors are hollow core. And things spread throughout the entire crew, quick. I just wanna point that out because it's kind of an important thing, especially when you're talking about personal records and.
Would the door even be enough with the way this was built with the walls?
No,
Probably not.
there's
I
if
mean,
you look out there, as far as the commissioner, that's his job is to deal with that stuff there's no privacy.
Okay.
Alright, we'll head out in the shop.
Morning, Scott.
Some of them do it on their phone. Some do computers. This is the excavator you guys approved. Right there that the boys and the adventure getting. This came from Texas.
When we inspected it, everything looked pretty good. It still looks good. So found it to be very, very comparable for what we could get at the time. Next bullet would be the shop leaks. This wall here becomes a waterfall and it runs down the floor, fills the bench up, hence the bench being rusty. I left this here so you guys can see. It runs right down. Not just here, throughout the center of the building as well. It runs through the building. Depends on the severity of the storm, how wet it gets in here, but it's got a roof over and it's raining inside. As well as all that, with the rain leaking through in the wintertime with the plow trucks, say they work 12, 14 hours that day, you gotta come in the next 4 to 6 hours, hold the trucks in. They don't even dry, they don't drip, they don't do nothing, because the building does not retain much heat. You can have them cranking, all the heat in here cranking if you want, and you're lucky if you're pushing over 55 degrees, and then you bring in the ice blocks of trucks, they can't drip off. They're not gonna come in after working 12, 14 hours to wash the truck off because they would only get maybe an hour or two of sleep. So it'd be nice to have something to where the building retains some heat. I mean, there's a lot of wasted money there trying to heat the building when it can't retain nothing.
Has anybody thought about ever putting ceiling fans in here?
That was actually gonna be on a question that was asked, and it would be nice to have some ceiling fans to help push some of the heat down as well.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, the only downfall would be raising truck boxes up. You'd have to be strategic where you put them, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we run them in the center of the building, right along the center edge there, or stagger them,
I bet you got a lot of heat that's just holding up there probably.
between that or just escaping, yeah.
But if you can push it down, it wouldn't be wasted as much. That might be a good thought.
Okay. We should look into that and I guess see what we come up with.
I'm not a contractor, but I know a lot of places are doing it, so it's gotta be a point behind it.
Yeah. As far as all that, like when these trucks don't drip dry, that's longer salt intrusion. It's harder on the equipment, so you get more intrusion of water and salt through the trucks. Washing is ideal, but like I said, when you work 12, 14 hours and you gotta come in the next day in 4, 5, 6 hours, nobody's gonna wanna wash them. So we'll make our way to the break room. Do you want to sheets?
Yeah, where you get? Here. Okay.
Good.
Returning somebody's ATM card.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they left it sitting there.
Could be like thinking that they didn't get it back.
Yeah, especially when I seen that account.
Don't be afraid of the camera.
Alright, so obviously this is the break room. It'd be nice to maybe get a little AC unit in the window or the wall, because otherwise the heat and humidity take a break. You're just sitting in the elements. I mean, it's not dire need, but it'd be nice to have something to sit down for 15 minutes and cool off and drink a soda or have a snack. This is the bathroom here that we had discussed about getting a fan and putting a door on. You go to the bathroom, say somebody comes in at 8:30, 9 o'clock break, you're gonna sit here and you're gonna smell the bathroom. This is what we got. We got windows. Usually the wind seems to push everything through the shop and out the door. Light switches to your right if you want the lights on.
Is this unit that's in here right now the same one that supplies the office? What we're seeing for ductwork?
Yes. That ductwork is from the furnace and the parts room.
But only for the furnace, but not for the AC in the office.
No,
No,
this
because
it
that's
does
a
not have
window
AC.
unit in the window for the
Office?
Oh, not the office, no.
Is there any way to tie into that to bring AC into here?
We'd have to talk an HVAC guy and see what he would say.
I mean,
That would be fine, yeah. We can look into that.
maybe you just need a
Sorry.
door stays shut, the walls are insulated, maybe that'd be enough to cool it. I don't know.
It's very possible. I mean, even if we put notes on the door, keep doors closed, I mean, that would help.
And HVAC guy might tell you it's too much for the unit we have, but it's worth asking.
Yeah.
Did you bring up that water that's been
No, I did
accumulating
not
on the
bring it
floor?
up. So when it rains in here as well, the bathroom, luckily there's a floor drain, but the bathroom between the wall and the floor, it just runs right in. When it rains enough, it runs right in, the floor is wet. It's not because somebody splashed water, it's a significant amount. And then, well, it takes, depending on how much water, it takes a couple days to dry. When we come in Monday, it was wet till Wednesday,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so. It runs through underneath the wall there, same thing in the parts room, walk in there, it's got double doors for the parts room, it runs right through the door, underneath the door. And the parts room's the next thing to go through, but yeah, this is the bathroom scenario we had discussed. Sure, yeah.
Well, honestly, it's probably best, okay, you got an window air conditioner.
Here, yeah.
If you could feed this and break room would be nice.
The furnace in here does not have AC on it. And putting AC on that furnace, you either set it outside and snow would come off and smash it. Excuse me. Or you would put it on the roof and the snow might rip it off because of the way it really comes at times.
Put it outside, build a roof over it, extension off the roof.
Could do that.
Support it,
Yeah,
through
we could do
snow.
Fireworks, we're getting those Mr. Cool wall mount units, and they seem to work pretty
Oh,
decent.
the split units?
Yeah.
Yep. So, as far as the parts room goes, some double doors are down there along this section here on the south side. Our parts room, we have overgrown. We went through and reorganized a lot of it this last winter. Everything's relabeled. We've gotten rid of stuff from the 50s and 60s, and maybe the 70s because it needed to go. cannot stack any more stuff on top because you cannot be 2 foot from ceiling. We had an state inspector come and they made us take everything back off and down. So we have parts in here, we have parts in the shop, we have parts in that wood shed to the north, and then in the file room we have parts out there. So we got parts scattered, and depending on what we get, sometimes there's parts even in the old salt shed where we park our pickups. So we've kind of outgrown a lot of this. There's a lot in here for a lot of parts, but
Wasn't it talked about though to get a container or something to put the overflow parts in?
so we got these trailers out there. I think that was supposed to be kind
Good
of
idea.
a possibility, but there's a lot of work to that, cutting the running gear, setting them on the ground, all that. That was another point I was going to bring up. Martin said, now he said, we'd have to talk to him again, he said he'd give us $1,000 per trailer. We just auctioned one, I think we made $1,100 on it for the auction. But you're not guaranteed that every time.
Right.
So if we could sell him all 3 trailers, get $1,000 per trailer, and then put that towards a storage unit, and then there's another part to the storage unit for stuff in the Quonset. They've got a bunch of culvert bands out there. We'd take them out of the Quonset because we got so much stuff now. We put all the culvert bands also in that Quonset, and then open up that, basically that Quonset for more equipment, parking, or stuff you want to keep out of the weather. So, because it's a big stand up there, you have to walk up, and it's a platform of culvert bands that you store up there. So, there's more parts to all that. So,
You'd set it up in a storeroom kind of system where you have multiple locations. So you have it up in Millwood, Maine, and then
yep.
just 2 or 3, and then you have one basin.
Okay.
So
Almost sounds like they need one of those containers with multiple compartments in it, so they're not having to go in and traipse over everything to get to what they want up in the front.
there were some over in Holcomb. They got the doors on the side.
Yep.
Yeah, those look pretty nice.
They're gonna be more expensive,
Yeah.
but I think it's gonna be what would fit better here.
Oh yeah.
More
Absolutely.
practical and
Yeah,
beneficial.
you can label each individual section for what they are.
Sounds like next meeting maybe we need to discuss purchasing one of them maybe.
Alright, so that's what we got in here. So we're gonna look at some of the trucks here, show you some of the stuff we got going on there.
Oh my god, what a nightmare. I'm okay with flying as long as you can fly. Driving all the way through the night is not fun.
How many hours are on this?
That's an alley.
Yeah.
What's the thing is the 5 years? That was one of the things I put together. I'm like, maybe not right now, but.
To you guys. There's obviously more. We can walk back there and look at them. So we come over. This was just rebuilt. Troy had torn all this box up, and we had to get that cylinder remade because on this particular truck, this cylinder was engineered for this truck. So it was like 50-something weeks out, and it was 12.5 just for the cylinder. That didn't include the scissor. That didn't include the pins back here. So we were able to get it rebuilt for about $1,200 to $1,500. I don't know the exact number. I can't remember, but it was between $1,200 and $1,500. That was with them making seals, redoing, repacking, all that stuff. We had to put this on because it was busted up and rotted away throughout the span here and also along the top. Come along back here. This is where it's starting to separate on all this stuff. It's getting soft. You just take your finger, flex the metal. This is the one with the big holes in it.
If you notice, some of this box, when we purchased this truck from Sawyer County, we had to patch it up. You can see some of the patches on the box already, and if you'll see in the back, they're already rusting. Some of the patches are rusting through. This one in particular right here.
Yep. And it's pretty soft right here. I mean, you can just flex that around. There's the holes there. This is one of the ones that's got some holes above the hinges. He had just put new hinges on there because they were worn out. We got more plates welded on here. You run along the floor of the bed here, and you got this right here. Just holes in these spots. Just in these spots, holes. Just so I mean, there's a hole there.
Is that supposed to be a channel for your wiring then? That's routed off?
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, that's wiring channel.
Was.
Yeah.
Kind of one of those deals. If you start, where do you stop?
Right. We had to put the hinges and ceiling on because we needed the dump truck.
Right.
This was broken. That was rotted off, so. Yep, inevitably we had to redo some of this stuff. Considering blacktop season's coming, we have to have a tarp on it. We'll go in the back here.
Well, let's look at this here.
Oh, this box.
Yeah, so these trucks are in the absolute worst conditions possible. I mean, you can't, they're always in the salt. You can see, this is the hydraulic control box. You want to pop that cover off?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be fixed, but you think of the fleet, with this kind of degradation in it.
But by the looks of this box, this one would be worth, correct me if I'm wrong, replacing that box and that brackets and everything to hold that control assembly?
Yeah, it's worth,
Fix it.
definitely, we have to fix it for safety reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, here's another thing to think about. Parts are starting to become obsolete for these trucks as well.
Either the box covers and that kind of stuff, or
We gotta get them made.
gotta get
Put
them
it
made.
on a, yeah, you have to pack it in,
Boy, that ain't much holding that.
No.
You get on a roll one solid bump and she hits right, you're gonna lose that whole thing.
It's not the only one either.
Wiggle that one. Wiggle that one, Troy. Just wiggle it. Don't have to take it off. Just. It's not as bad, but it's gonna require attention here
Still,
shortly.
these trucks take a pounding down the road.
Road, BTV trails, kits.
and it would be beneficial to just like stainless ones, maybe.
Pricey, but.
You take the salt then. Yeah.
Are these our used ones we bought?
This one is. This one we bought. This one's used. This one come from Washburn County.
This is only, was the 09, is that?
No, 09 is the one back here. I'm gonna show you guys.
Did this one we buy new?
Yeah.
So?
What is this? 05?
20 years ago, yeah.
Five
Five.
years ago?
Well, the boxes are rotting out, from what I can see, near as bad as these
Right.
used ones.
Well, they've been patched with the light covers on it, but I mean, if you got rust there, inside there, when you get all that splash up, you can wash them, you can't get everything out of there.
And then, like on this frame rail, if you guys look in there,
Oh, the splitting.
how it's just, separating. I mean, a guy, they can wash and wash and wash, you're never gonna get that salt from inside there.
Hence when I said the stuff don't ever drip dry either, so it's just sitting in there. When it melts, it just goes in there instead of just dripping away.
And when these trucks are bought new, there's nothing the person can put on them for helping with the salt, is there?
stainless box would be.
No, on the
one part.
frame.
On the frame, if
got
we can
the-
stick with a single, just a
Single
single
frame.
frame, it would help big time.
Right.
The double frames is where you run into the issue with intrusion.
This was
And
already
then unless you're
started.
having it
This was
coated or
already
something.
started before you.
Well, that's what I'm wondering,
Yes,
coating,
that
is
was
there
all
coating
started
that
well,
helps
we
with
got
this
it
kind of
by
stuff,
somebody
or
else.
does it just make it worse?
Exactly.
So this was, when we bought this from Washburn, they went through it, cleaned it up, and undercoated everything as
Yeah.
best they could.
Yeah,
And as you can see, the undercoat is still just bubbling out. I mean, it's,
Well, that's part of that.
Yeah,
that black
But it's
line.
not.
yeah, well, where you can see these paint spots here, the rust was painted over when we got it, because that's what we had to get. So they went through and they cleaned these up, made them look nice again. I mean, you can see the dimples where it was rusted underneath when we had gotten it.
Our township just switched over to stainless box.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
A little extra, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be worth it.
Well, stainless box is the way to go by the sounds of it, but it still ain't gonna help with these types of scenarios here that we're seeing. That's
Yeah,
just,
they're making
that's
stainless
just gonna have to be
boxes.
replaced.
These are no stainless boxes as
Really?
well. Yep.
What about the frame holding them though? Still
The
gonna be
frame is
steel?
not, no, the frame is not.
You'd want at least
So
a
if we
coat.
go with the single frame, that'll help a lot because you still
No, I mean the
don't have-
brackets holding the box, sorry.
Oh, the brackets.
That, those are still gonna be steel.
Depends on
Get
where they
those
mount
in
them.
aluminum.
Okay.
We got one of our new ones back here. We'll go back here.
Okay.
and see some of that.
Matter of fact, this-
You wanna look at that over there, Wolverine?
What are you looking? Oh, yeah. So we'll take a
Oxidized, but they won't,
we'll take a trip outside since before we go to the back shop.
the pit, but they won't take deteriorating like rust.
Okay, so, our shop, we take care of senior services vehicles and
Maintenance,
maintenance.
buildings and grounds, or building, maintenance, senior services, county cars, ambulances, everything but the sheriff's department we deal with.
And so this is our only hoist, and as you can imagine, once you get a couple trucks in here, how hard it is to get a vehicle on this hoist. I mean, especially in the wintertime, all the state trucks are usually up in this part. You have to unload the entire shop just about just to get what you want in here.
Yeah, and the other thing too is anytime you have to raise a box, you have to jockey the trucks over,
Yep,
so
cause
you can raise a box.
And like this truck right now is getting some parts put on it, so if they gotta raise the box, we gotta clear everything up there to get the box. If we need to do some maintenance or repairs underneath it. 'Cause that's all the higher that box will go because of the heater up out. There's just a little input on that.
Ideally, where would you want the hoist to be, like in that door over there? more
I-
so, or-
ideally, it would be nice to have a turn and have a door,
That's what I'm looking at.
a door right there.
That
Yeah,
would work
diagonally,
best.
the first place should have been at least
It's
that way.
so handy like that.
Yeah, cause then if you set it here and you put a door, you can drive in and out, not have to worry about anything, you're still by your loops,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't be too hard
This
structurally.
wasn't thought out. This is a Monday or Friday.
You pull an engine or tranny here, you're fighting, it's horrible. What the engine,
Especially
cherry
with
picker,
the jack, yeah. With triple cream.
And what exactly, this is something
this is the old hoist, it no longer, it's not useful, everything was pulled out because it was unsafe. It was the old hoist for single axle dump trucks.
from this before this.
We had talked about this years ago, and we were told no, but now we can ask again,
Told no what, remember?
Yeah.
because they didn't wanna come to you guys and ask.
That sounds alright.
Am I right?
Yeah, no, he's absolutely right.
Well,
A tripping hazard, obviously.
There's still a cylinder down there, we would just probably throw some sand or
No,
something
something you
underneath and
could,
just
I
pour it
just
in
don't know how
and
to
you
force
take it out,
this,
everything's
because
taken
it's
away from it.
away from it.
Yeah.
Say it'd be a decent spot to
I
have
don't know
drain,
how
but
deep
it's,
this necessarily
fine.
is, probably about the same depth as that, was that 3 feet down? Or you're running into dirt and stuff,
Yeah,
so I mean, it's half filled up with crud anyways, but
a lot of hydraulic oil down in there
There's
because the
some stuff
cylinder
in there.
leaked.
from,
So I mean, it wouldn't take much to concrete.
No.
I don't know why everybody's afraid to ask. I would've done that a long time ago.
we're trying now.
Just saying.
Alright, so that's just our little, this is our service area. The dump trucks come over here typically to make it a little easier so you can string your hose out to change the oil. And then we got our waste oil that we pump out to there. And then whatever miscellaneous items you use per vehicle or equipment. We will take just a little walk out this way.
The newest one has, I think, 3,000.
There's other alternatives to this. We'd like to potentially put some concrete in here, get some pallet racking in here, because we store stuff in here, obviously. We got brooms, we got brine tanks for winter time, we got our skidster broom stuff. We keep a little bit of, we separate our aluminum for scrap, so the county can make a little more money on the aluminum. But we'd like to pour a 6-inch slab in here, throw some pallet racking on, so then we can store stuff, and then we could potentially put a garage door and a service door on it, then we can park a pickup or two out here. We're running out of room, so in the wintertime, we walk back there, I'll explain, we throw wings and sanders on. This is only gonna help us. So a garage door and a service door. It's got power out here. It's got a light. It's only got one, but it's got a light. Okay, it's got two. But
Hey, that's a plus. Yeah.
it's got power. We throw an LED or two in here and it'll be bright. Obviously, it's not really heatable, but it can keep stuff out of the elements.
It'd be a decent cold storage.
Correct.
Well, if you think it's worth it, the outside could be tin cheap enough.
Yeah.
Keep some water on it.
Yeah. Make the lumber last longer. Probably worth tin on the outside.
It's not that bad, it's actually, that's pretty sound.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we pour a
Salt
slab
shed
in.
one time, it should be built like a brick. At the time it was built.
So sometimes bigger parts, like that 89 truck that had the box and stuff redone on it. This is where the cylinder would be parked, and you got leaf springs and some other stuff in here. So this gets cluttered in here, so we got pallet racking. Some parts of it don't fit very big. We got pallet racking, so we can stuff in the corner, out of the way, so somebody don't run it over because they didn't know it was there, or they had something big on the pallet floor so they couldn't see. We just keep stuff safer. We'll just take a real quick walk to our file room where it's all around. It's done with that.
Story on that door over there.
Like the family's office. That's the corner I'm talking about.
When there's a lot of water running off that rope, you do that door too. That ain't,
That's a flat roof up there. So it's got rubber. Well, yeah, it's got rubber, but it's got grains on the edges.
it's starting to rust.
Oh, this is where we have to keep our filters now because you can't stack anything on top of the shelf. They come and inspect us. We got a morning last night, and they will potentially.
You got a container and it's
Yeah.
it's really
in my ass.
First time I've seen it.
Sorry.
Just a bunch of miscellaneous. We got an exhaust pipe that we couldn't no longer fit in the shop. You know, there's just an oil pan for a DD13. That's what the Western Stars, that is.
This
So,
is nuts.
this is what we deal with, trying to find parts or doing a service. So we got the filter out. The filter didn't get ordered. You spend your time walking out here digging through this stuff. It was ordered, but it's tucked behind another one because it fell down. You know, just miscellaneous stuff like that happens.
I think this should have been a joint meeting with property, but it looks like some of this stuff here.
Emily.
Do we have to keep them?
Emily. Emily.
Yeah. For 20 years. I think it's 7 years.
All time we go through.
You have to look at
So, I think a couple years ago, Sky found it. In the last highway code, she's all paper. So, I think the last 5 years, since she retired, Sky did a great job decluttering the paperwork. So then every year, we'll move out the 7 years prior year, get rid of that, store it on here. So yeah, we're doing a lot better
Easiest way
rotating.
to come up with a deal, considering you were on here.
I got told when Sky told me that when she moved into my office, there was a whole wall was just so we've decluttered on the paperwork. It's gotten a lot better.
Still, it's gonna be easier, right? I think we need to look at this and make it easier for everybody instead of trying to hold out.
Yeah. Yeah, we're open to any suggestions. Yeah, it's not so fun when it comes to inventory here. You know, we go to the parts room and then we're like, oh shoot, we got stuff over here, so we call it here and have an inventory. And
What are you running,
Or
like 7 different places to find a part if you need to?
3 to 4.
You're probably gonna have a
That's,
problem
that's,
with them
that's
doing that.
nuts.
I think you guys
It becomes, you know, you think you got some and then you can't find it, and
they're not gonna whack
it has happened from time to time. You order it again.
Running around trying to
Yep.
find a part, 4 different places versus having it all centrally located.
Should be somewhere. Right.
Hey, you guys spend more time running around. It's not your fault, I get
No,
it.
I get what you're saying. It's unfortunate. It's what we got right now. It's part of this is to help you guys understand what we got going on.
So one of them containers would absolutely put a hand
Yes. Yeah. One
for
for
this
sure.
reason.
One for sure. You know, for this reason, whether we put it near this area or we have one back there for that other stuff, I mean, we could utilize it for sure. All right, we can make our way to the back shop now.
You're wondering, that's our boiler room. And you can't use that room for anything. It is what it is, yeah.
Well, at least you got rid of good wood salt.
Yeah, yeah. That was one of the good reasons we had at one time. We used to have one, right?
Really?
That's, I mean, that's like that shed when we originally built it. That was our wood shed. I think one last time we were maybe. Are you kidding me?
That's the one, yeah, that was, how long ago was that, Paul? Was that for, I think it was last year?
Last year.
Yeah, yep.
All right, Trey. You're in the welding room here. Want to talk a little bit, or you want me to go through and explain?
I guess I can talk a little bit. So this is where most of the welding gets done, as long as it's small. You can see the service door there. Tri-axle, if it ain't a single axle, it ain't gonna fit in here. So a lot of and then absolutely no head space to raise anything like the boxes up to do any maintenance that way. We have leaks in the roof. between right in here. And this is a room that has been retrofitted at least twice, because it was originally the welding room stopped right here. And then they did try to expand it enough to get a little bigger stuff, because you can imagine what you could get in that room there with. But again, when it was built on, then it took away from our parking space, because this was all back shop parking before this got added onto. With that, I mean, we've ran extra wiring in here to try to supplement the welders and stuff with extra plugins, but we do have an issue. Anytime I'm welding in here, the lights are, and through the whole building, are fluctuating. I mean, they can tell when I'm welding just in the office area, when I'm just by the lights. So we've had electricians look at it time and time again. They can't really get to the bottom of it. But nobody thinks it's normal to have your lights flickering when you're welding.
And if you're welding something on that table, being it's connected to the wall, you don't even have to put your ground on it. You can still weld without even putting the ground to it.
That's handy.
It is handy.
Especially doing little things.
Yeah.
So like Troy was talking, you can't fit triaxles in here, so then that 89, that was parked up there for a little while between him working on it and jumping around, got service calls, whatever the case may be, so it sits up there, needing to be have welding done to it, so then it plugs up another spot, so then you're tighter in there. You know, sometimes you get 3 trucks, and then you got pickups, or whatever the case may be, we got the excavator in there now, we had to move the 1 truck to get the excavator in there because it wouldn't fit. So there's just lack of space for the required repairs we got going on in this place.
Well, and then another thing to add to that is the ventilation part. Now, this room does have at least a vacuum fan and some fresh air intakes there with a wall fan, but I start burning an air arcing or anything, and before I know it, that whole front shop is just blue from me being welding in there, and it's not made for that. You know, you gotta have some fresh air pumping in, otherwise, and then everybody's breathing it, you know.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So let me ask this question. Don't you guys are all here and you deal with this daily. If the county someday could build something, which don't know when that'll be, could this be retrofitted, this building here, and upgraded to just be, say, welding and smaller repair type things, and then if a person just built a building to put your equipment in, that's in here all the time? If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
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 Just have a new building that was just bare bones, so to speak. You could change oil or something like that in it. And you know, steel frame shop, but you could still, then that would alleviate a lot of this stuff that you're dealing with and tripping over all the time, and it would be in that building till you brought it in here to work on, maybe?
So basically a storage room and this would be a shop.
Yeah,
So
a heated housing for vehicles and
Right.
trucks.
Washing trucks, all that.
So that'd be something that'd be possible. I mean, you'd have to,
That could grow later on, maybe.
right, you'd have to work into that. So like now, Andy's touched on base. Anytime you wanna work on something, because we're so limited with space here, the state trucks stay up here. They're easy to get out. Sometimes only the state gets called out. They're easy to get out, they're up there. You come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day, and they ain't going out, you have to literally take a half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, and fire up every truck to get all that stuff out, to then finally get your job in here. Because usually, unless you section off the spot and the truck needs to be down for a couple days, then you gotta fight around that, pulling the state trucks back in here. Otherwise, if you're pulling a new job in, you gotta pull everything out to get it in an area so it's not conflicting with them trucks coming in and out every day.
So imagine the heat loss, cause
Every day.
that door's gotta stay open until,
Musical trucks.
yeah.
Right.
That's
But I'm just
awesome.
throwing that out there. I mean,
Yeah.
does it make sense or not? But
The only thing I could add to that is you guys really have to look at the age of this building and how much longer is it gonna be viable for any kind of service. We've got issues with our doors sticking. You know, not outside doors and inside doors, like the whole building is settling, if you will. And you know, it's an old building. It was built fairly cheap when it was put up the first time, as you can tell. It the insulation wasn't even, that was installed by county workers. So it wasn't, you know, it was bare bones when this building went up. And you know, you gotta look towards the future. I mean, granted, I know we're dealing with money situations to not be able to afford big, but sometimes you gotta bite the bullet and start with something new.
When was the shop put up?
My best guess is early, right around late 50s, early 60s.
This is gonna be my guess too, by looking around at it.
When that goes. I think you got your money's worth out of it.
Yeah. Well, the original county building is up there where Flambeau Door.
Yeah, I see that
Sits.
up there,
Yeah.
but still, I think you got your money's worth out of this one.
Troy, you wanna touch on what's in the back of this truck?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if we'll be able to show it. Is 48 out?
48 out in West Patrol Shed. They won't start right now.
Okay. All right. So we have a truck, number 48. It's one of the older ones in the fleet, but still, we're using it every day. This is the just part of the box frame rails I had to have bent, and they're meant to be installed on the lower part of the box because we won't be able to start it, but it is the whole box rail on the bottom where it sits on the frame. I can stick my hand through it probably about 6 to 7 feet up from the hinges. And that's what that steel was bent for and has to go on so we don't lose a box. I don't know if anybody's new to the highway committee, but I've repaired 2 or 3 different frames on the boxes, and one we lost. That was 70, and I was actually operating it when it collapsed. The box was in the air, we were salting, and you know, you take a turn and the box just, and luckily it didn't tip the whole truck over, but that's our fleet, you know, that does the maintenance on the roads, and it's that they're that rusty.
There's a fair amount of them too that around the back pins, they're starting to crack out around the back pins. Yeah. So what he did to that truck in there is gonna have to be done to more trucks.
Alright guys, we'll move to the back now. So this is what Troy was kind of talking about with all these doors. We adjust them with hammers. You gotta pull it? Yeah, you gotta pull it. I mean, it don't just open. We have to take a hammer to it and adjust them along the edge here because everything's shifting and moving.
You got one in the warehouse that way. Yeah. They don't shut because the guy snuffed it all so hard. With the forklift. And then have Meyer come in and. Yeah.
So this is that stainless box we're talking about. Yeah, the column stainless here. The framing is steel too, oh yeah.
Right.
The box is stainless steel, and then
Is this one of the last ones?
this is one of the newest
Second to
ones.
the last one.
Second to the last one.
Yep, 58's the newest.
Let's see, got the nice box and everything on this one. I mean, structure.
Now, what are the singles used for, kind of specifically?
71 of these main ducts. That runs 27 north and south. This is something new we got. This is for shoulder repairs, minor shoulder repairs in the summertime now. Troy had just set this up a couple weeks ago. Use the underbelly, you dump your dirt off the side, you back up, you use your underbelly to level it back off, keep it off the road. So, and then we got one more single axle which runs a water tank in the back to fill our rollers up in the summertime for big. Other than that, these are plow trucks as well. And this is the truck that the box fell over on.
So this is the only single you got left?
We got three of them. We got two seats like this and then in there and half.
Okay, but you use them on state roads then too, is what you're saying, or?
No, so this is kind of a truck that jumps around and helps, and it also plows townships. Townships pay us to come plow some of the roads.
Okay, so
So
that's what
it
they're-
takes money.
So we use the triples mostly on the,
The tries are mainly county and state. Well, these ones right here are now in the quads are state trucks, but we have one try on the state.
so you have to take that one axle off,
Oh no, we gotta take both axles off.
both off to get the belly plow.
Yeah.
And you got a school bus with $100.
That just takes a couple hours of it.
Yeah, just a couple hours, it's nothing major. This is one of the state trucks, well, we got two quads like this, this is what runs up our front, so you're making that tight corner every day, trying not to, make sure you don't hit nothing, we gotta usually have a guide guy to get in and out, because this is
Big.
a big truck, and that's all there is to it.
So,
Right here,
Way more.
Well, I know one other thing to point out too is none of these have the wings on. In the winter time when they all have the wings on, it's
Yep.
tight in here.
Sanders
Very
wings.
tight.
I was in here last time we did a turn, they had the swings, yeah.
Okay, so you kinda knew.
I did, but the rest of these guys didn't. It was, you couldn't even get around in here at all. It was,
Right now, it's kinda open, we can walk through here.
It's open in here because we got trucks up there.
We got trucks up there, we've got trucks parked outside right now,
Yep.
but
but
not
there's
all
still a
that.
lot of equipment sitting outside, it'd be nice if it was in too, right?
Correct.
And we're down one truck because it's deemed unusable at the moment, so. So that's another truck that's not in here.
Let's just say you're paying $370,000 for these vehicles to sit outside. That's ridiculous.
Like this truck here, this has been patched up. You can see a crinkle in there. Been boogered up there the best it can be. I mean, there's not a whole lot of material there, so you gotta kinda just keep building on it to get.
Well, this is another Sawyer one,
This is
isn't it?
another one, a Washburn.
For Washburn.
Yep. So right here, there's these big plates on the back of the, underneath of the box here. These plates were put on because they were cracked up. So this is just a Band-Aid to make them last a little longer. This whole plate had been added on because they're cracking up in there. This is the truck. It's all the flex. So this is the truck here. And it's got the holes, just, here's the hinges, there's a hole. So take this flat plate, keep it right back down the hydraulic line. That's what's causing our issue. Everything cracking and falling apart. And that's why the edges are cracking like they are.
How many of these did we buy?
Three.
So we
One down
bought,
at the end.
so we bought 3 more problems from some other counties. That makes sense.
Everything is beautifully
Up on the inside.
that way to the right, behind here, right up in here. Go to your right a little more, you see that hole? So, in this box, everything looks pretty good underneath them. I mean, there's some, these are 2016, 2017 range. Nope.
Are these double framed or single?
I honestly do not remember. Single. So you're not gonna run into that issue?
No, it's not laying on
Where'd these maroon ones were bought new?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
We got them in 17. They might be a model year of 16, but we ended up receiving them when they were done in 17. This is the truck that we had brought to you guys with this frame now that is separated from the box. You got a crack here that comes from underneath there and start to loop out all the way through. This is the truck.
That's gonna keep climbing.
Yep. this is the truck that had been rebuilt here. So this is all new, and there's that piece that comes down internally there I was telling you about that you cannot reattach. So it was ran, how far up, Andy? All the way up to that seam there?
This one's all the way.
To that seam there?
Yeah, and it's just putting lipstick on the pig, 'cause it's still rusted out underneath.
Yeah, yeah, so you're just covering it up for a little while.
90% of the ivy is still good, it's just that top lip.
So this is, we got this there, you got holes here,
What are the pins like on this one?
pins on this one. I'd imagine they need to be probably some
Yeah,
attention
so
to them.
this one, when it raises up into the paver, she goes up and she goes wham. So,
Sketchy.
she's sketchy. It's kinda like, whoa.
Another one of these double frames.
Yeah, that's a double frame there too. These are 2009.
Enough for them around this year.
Cover this with dogs and.
So the sister truck to this would be, oops, sorry guys. The sister truck to this would be 53. 53 with these lights. I know where there's pictures, but this is what we have done. Is this whole thing is silicone to keep these lights in because
Didn't we,
it's gone.
you sent pictures up on there?
Yep, that's what I'm saying. The sister truck of this would be 53. And the lights are all silicone in because there's
Yeah.
no longer material to hold the grommets in. Same thing on this side, you got holes like that coming through. Yep, and it's just, they're getting soft.
Anything on the side, I suppose,
Yeah, you could put some on there and then,
to well done.
yeah.
Buckets and stuff,
It's like not cracked and broke away yet.
No,
Sure, it's in,
it's a
short.
layer though.
Yeah, you can see it bottom. Yeah, there's a crack there, in the box there. There's a crack coming out of here, just like on that side, swirling out.
Look at those sweet things up on there.
Yep, there's a couple up there. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going wrong. This is our, this is the newest one here.
Yeah. These are nice stuff. I just covered it.
This would be the other, washroom truck here. Got that cleat welded back on the bottom, because it's cracking, because it's the same condition underneath.
No, we can't do that.
It's soft. This is another washroom.
Another thing that you guys can see with this one with the tailgate off is the inside of these boxes with these liners. That one that was up in the front shop, you can see this wear where it's wore through. Obviously they don't last forever, but the worse shape they are, the more sand and salt gets underneath, and it's working from both sides with these liners. The one that you seen up there with the box in the air, there's a hole about right here with the liner. You know, it just, they're wearing out from both sides. They're rusting from the bottom, they're wearing on the top. I mean, they've just gone through their usefulness.
Is there another option for lining these beds besides just that plastic? I thought there was another option out there or something. No?
Not that
The
I'm
other way to
aware
do it
of.
is line them with plastic, yeah.
Yeah.
Where do we get them lined at? Do we get them at the factory?
Horn plastics,
I was just gonna say, horn
Yeah.
plastic?
and they gotta be that, high temp, so they don't melt the asphalt.
Yeah, I know where they're at. I know where they're at down there in the garage and all their stuff, so. That's why I was gonna ask if you guys want to do that.
Alright, so, let me just take a picture here.
The moisture, you can see the water sitting over here in the back shop and it's seeping in from the.
Yeah,
bottom
but
of
what
the
they do,
concrete.
they gotta be able to slide out easy,
Right.
you know.
Alright.
A lot of that shit, that's just gonna keep it handy.
Yeah. These old used to stuff off the end of the bed.
These, I don't think, yep, because that's off our wood for, yeah, wood boiler, no, it's a natural gas boiler. Yep, the round one. And, of course, the radiant heat, that, I don't think that ever shuts off. That runs
Not back
constantly in
here,
the
it's not
winter
shut
time,
off,
yeah.
no.
I think it really helped you guys put some fans back there.
Probably would, we're moving there.
One of the issues, you know, I don't know where you put the fans, but, you know, the guys, when they come back here to wash, I mean, they gotta put their box in there to do any kind of job at all, so.
You gotta offset them,
You might have, yeah, it sounds like you have to offset them one way or another, so it's not an issue.
because obviously you're gonna want the peak for your highest point, so.
And I don't think they can hang down, 8 feet, but just having them in here pushing that air down, even if they're only 2 feet from the ceiling or 3 feet, is gonna help you guys tremendously.
Yeah, and it depends on how many CFMs.
And
you
just to
can
dry
put.
it out, it'll dry this floor out too.
So you see there's new lighting in here, it used to be just fluorescence, and these guys are washing, they can only see a little bit because it was dull in here.
use the flashlight, check the oil.
Pretty much, so we had updated the lights in here, that was that Red Cedar Electric bill, to get these
Okay.
lights updated. It'd be nice to do it in the main shop, to have a little more lighting in there, so we'll have to bring that to you guys another time, just so you guys can see the difference in here versus up there, and that's where the work gets done. The next thing would be this floor drain. It drains water, but when it don't, then, it's degrading, the pipe's falling apart in there. We actually couldn't get it to drain, there's nothing wrong with the pump. We had, I don't remember if it was a city or we had a contractor come in and they tried blasting through. They got through, but their best opinion was that the pipe is falling apart in there. They didn't think it was, like, they thought it was crumbling and falling apart.
It's gas iron.
Yeah.
And so then you've got, you're washing the stuff, you're washing the salt off, and
Yeah.
you go right down in there.
I'll bet that's pretty bad.
I suppose it would deteriorate some blowpipes, with that plastic pipe maybe.
And they said they didn't get nothing very much, so it's getting pretty plugged up, that's what they said. They didn't take a camera, but they had a pretty small one that they went through, and they could only get so much through. Alright, so.
One other thing on these floor drains, guys, just again, the, if you can see here, the concrete eroding away, and that goes the whole way. Now, when I started here, the drains were only about that wide as far as the tops. And it's probably been 15 years ago or better that we actually saw cut, widened it, because the grates wouldn't even hold in the drains anymore. They were collapsing down in, and we widened the grates so we could keep bringing stuff in here without, breaking everything. I mean, that's the kind of stuff when you think how much life is left in this building when the concrete is eroding that bad.
Well, back when this was built, they were all probably single plow truck, single axle, and double at most.
Yeah.
This was built for single axle trucks.
Yeah. It's just-
To bring that, this is the point I was gonna make. So you got this whole thing full of trucks, wings, the whole works. This thing is packed. So obviously you can't have a fall on in this building. So when we get those nice 8-inch snows or 6-inch, you have 12 trucks stuck out here trying to get to their plows in the line out there. So it's time consuming. You can't just get out there. You have to go hook up to your plow. And you're stuck. You're stuck out there until the loader comes and pushes you out.
After they load the state trucks.
Yeah, if you can get the state trucks back
Yeah,
there.
you get the state trucks there.
So,
A lot of pushing trucks out of bucket, the loader bucket, because they get stuck in the yard.
every time.
We had one at
You didn't know that?
the
Yeah, they take them off every time.
Every time. You can't come in here with, I mean,
Well, then it stays down in the village plow, right? I mean,
You could have the belly up,
yeah.
and the sander in the wing.
Yep.
So the front plow, every
That's
time
how
they
it
gotta.
works, I mean, you just don't pull up and hook up and unhook all the time.
No, it's a lot of time consuming, and then they gotta go through and spray them style, because we have to have that style. It's called Houston hitch, we have to have those because you're constantly on and off, whereas you get a loop and pin, and they leave them on there all the time. They can just leave them on, they ain't gotta grease them. The Houston hitch, you have to grease every time, so when they go out there, what is it, $9 a can for that grease? $9 a can every time you go out there.
And if they don't grease them, those plows, when you hit the lever, they don't go down. They hang up, and I mean, some guys are greasing them twice a day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, that's where it'd be nice, if they ever do something, have something big enough, you could stack the trucks in there 2-3 deep, lift the plows on them, if it needed to be in the wintertime. Because then you're saving time, you're saving money, instead of constantly hooking everything up.
Oh, absolutely.
The nice thing here is they, you know, they wanna keep a certain individual in a certain truck, that's fine and dandy. Well, you got Brinker and 32 here, you gotta pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6, 7 trucks out, just so he can get his truck to stay in his truck. So that's what we deal with on a daily, is you gotta pull. So what do you think, you know, you gotta air up every truck. And spending that time, the county's gotta spend that time to air a truck, because he's gotta be in that truck, because that's his assigned truck. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with there too.
It's a nightmare. And so that's why we asked for the fan to pull some of that exhaust out of here.
It helps some, it helps some.
I have no words. That's just crazy. You guys, I hunt and hunt every time those small towns.
Every time.
That is the most
Even
fascinating
the- even the
thing
state
I've
truck.
ever heard.
That's what we have to do.
I know, I get it. And again, why was the time, and before my time, Jim's time, or whoever.
Yep.
Why the hell they weren't thinking about this back 20 years ago?
We were. They had a plan, they had engineering and the whole works, they were gonna build one up on A and 27 up there.
And we never did.
Nope, it's too much money.
Oh.
At that time, it was 12 million.
And now look at it.
Three times that number.
We got the little hindsight thing, huh?
I bet this concrete alone, just for a building this size here, would be pushing $500,000.
I guess I can see why you guys are saying. Charles, how did you pull out this?
Look to the north, watch that wall and pull it out, stay, they make it too much. They pulled it up too much. They kept pushing on it, and pull it. How many, guess what, how many cables in there to hold it back together? Added some beams, cracking. Yep, so the water. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it tipped out.
I can see it from here.
So, the way that you have to put salt in here is you have to have a rubber tire excavator to push the salt up. And you'll see on the other side how big that door is. And that's how it got blew out.
So originally, what you guys are looking at here is our two first salt sheds. This one was the county salt shed, and that one was the state. Later on, we built the state shed bigger, and it's just with time and consumption that we need more, more space, more to house the salt. So they made that one cold storage, built a new state one, but we're still just, we're lacking space, at least the amount of salt that we buy.
I see Chippewa County built one over, I think it was Chippewa County, near the township. They built one with concrete walls and put a roof barn over top of it.
Yep, I've seen that. And a lot of those other counties, they have their satellites where they store, for that section, they have their own pile of salt and sand and stuff. Here, this is our only storage. I want to say Chippewa's probably got up to 6 different spots.
Chippewa was smart. Years ago, they built those satellite shops. Taylor did it too. Got the one up by Gelman.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So this is another spot our pickups, some of those pickups come in here. These are our wings for the wintertime for all the trucks. This is maybe site like in the summertime.
Now you'll see gouges on the front boxes. That's usually when this goes in.
Yeah. Now keep in mind that we are short pickups. even 3. So this is what we got, we're all with our pickups here, we got some over there. This is what we're kinda dealing with, and we're short on trucks.
These that we're looking at are all good.
These are all good trucks, yes. They're 52 up there, it could be replaced someday, but we can't replace any of this until we get to the truck.
These were the last trucks that we actually bought used. The other trucks we purchased have all been used.
2016.
Yeah, where's that, but we got that Ford last year, that was a used Ford, right? But that was, well, that's post-COVID.
Yeah.
The bad frame? No, it's a baby blue one. They might be right out back of the bad frame, and that's screw shackled. 52, an old Dodge we used for control soup truck.
Yeah.
That's got 250 plus thousand. It's working, it's running, I'm not saying it's shot, but there will be a time where it's worked out.
That's, just take a look at this, it's right here, right?
52 is to the right.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's a half ton.
I mean, to say it's not shot, I mean, this is, look at the rust on this thing. You know, box, I think the hood probably hit a deer, so the front end parts have been replaced as far as the body parts, but, you know, this is it's still working, but it
So, you know, this is the space we got. We'll go through the other sheds too, and touch on some other stuff. 53's back here, hook up the trailer, we can show you that too. This is another cold storage for us. Like I told them, we're short at least 2 trucks, if not 3, and this is where we're sitting with some of the room we got here. We had some numbers when we did this meeting, so the estimated that we got. Right about, so that boom was broken, it required a lot of work.
We went the other way.
We got some numbers, we have not ordered nothing, we might have to get some more.
That's your grandpa.
You wanna show them, show Chad, Tony?
So, I think this is about 2 years ago. On, busted out. It's not good.
And the reason that they are pushing it in this building is there is order to be taken this year.
So, when this thing is empty, the floor is pitched in. It's settled out, so if you were to actually empty this, you'd have the duck pond in the middle of this building. And that's just nothing you can really do about it, right?
Those are the cables up there that they had replaced up top.
Just pulling everything back out.
Yeah, I'm only holding it.
So imagine getting that rubber tire excavator in and out of this door constantly.
Where's this water coming from? Is it from here, because this is lower? Or is it coming off like that roof over there and coming over?
Both.
So watch that, maybe that just needs to drain out on this side and take that water a different direction away from here.
Looks like this is slow.
It does look slow.
Yeah, it keeps settling out. I mean, it's. We paid one a couple times.
To
Yep.
keep the water away.
Yeah, there's, if that salt wasn't in there, there'd be at least 6 inches of water on the floor there.
That material that's purchased.
And so you've got salt that's already activated, you go put it out on the road, it's junk. It gets chunky, you're fighting it.
4-0. I just rubber. Yep.
I don't know how you could ever pull that back in.
No, I pushed on it when the salt shed was empty. There's no.
This side's straight.
You can't move it.
Nobody knew about it. I learned about it at the kid baseball.
We have it back?
Not yet. This is yesterday. Yesterday this all come out. So this is the public land area here that we want to take out of here. This is the shed that gets filled up in the wintertime to try and keep our stuff out of the elements in the winter so it can keep it start. Come on here, come here. They brought it back.
Okay, so before you get started, I'm gonna tell you something. You throw hay in here, then you put a $500,000 paper or something in here, and you got mice coming out of that hay, running through the paper, which is an electrical nightmare. It's over $500,000 to replace that paper. Not to mention all the other equipment that gets stacked in there, rollers, tractors. So. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So this building in the wintertime gets plugged up with all of our lowboy tractors, so it's not sitting on the snow. Trailers, obviously all the rollers come in here, the paver comes in here. At times we've had the excavator in here.
Yep.
Just to keep them out of the elements, so they start easier, it's easier on the machine, and this gets plugged up. So that's part of the reason we wanna take that out of here, and put that in the storage unit. So we can open up a little more space in here. You're in and out, between the summer, I mean, you got the grinders for crack sealing. And then you got, your mowers come out of here in the summertime, and then they come back and they store in the wintertime. There's just a lot of in and out of this building. So if we had more storage there, that just tuck some stuff in the corner, out of the way, so you ain't bumping it or hitting it, or just making it easier.
Yeah. A lot of damage that happens around here. Some people, because you don't have the room. It's packed. It's a jigsaw puzzle, park everything in here in the winter.
Worse when you get it out.
And then like the paver, so I'm usually the one that works on the paper, so in order to get that, I have to unload this whole thing, and it's it's below zero usually.
And this building isn't for long, as far as if you look at the roof, I mean, you can see daylight. Yeah. You can see the rust on the outside, if you guys ever noticed, it's just, yeah, I mean.
Well, I was already thinking, does it pay to paint the roof on this thing, because I see them over here, I'm sure it does. Huh? There is a company out there that has a spray on that seals in like paint. I don't know how big the holes is. But they'll do shed roofs and stuff, and I guess. Actually, your father did one of his sheds, I believe, with the product. A few years back. I thought that's where you might have told me about it. I don't know how well it lasted, but it's been a while since we did it, so you know if it lasted or not. I thought that's what it was, I could be wrong. But I thought.
Yeah, I can ask him.
Maybe he just painted and it wasn't a sealer, but I thought it did both.
Okay.
This is all of our culvert inventory, obviously steel here, plastics in the lock fencing there, so nobody can come and just take one. There ain't too much over here, other than culverts. We'll run over through see if he'd still give us the 1,000.
Yeah.
Sell one. No, I don't want to. The colors need to come off. It's pretty full. We got some more. I think we got a little bit more. How much more steep salt? We done with steep salt or we got some more coming in? We're pretty full, but we got top off.
It's hard to get it right now, just because the truckers are doing construction someplace else.
So 49 used to be a dry axle dump. We took that Mack that we auctioned off, and we took the tank and put it on. This is the truck that's got the tank. They can do it's a steel tank. There is rust that comes out a lot of times when you use it. It's an old mine tank. Miles around. So this is that sister truck to 55 I was talking to you about. We don't have keys out here, but it's simple enough to physically see that she's doing pretty good. This is what Andy had bumped up on 55. Put a band-aid over it. There's a strip of steel in there that can no longer be attached for supports. Yep, it's doing the same thing there as well. It's cracked. A lot of the welding cracked. It's swelled, popping. No, this is bought 2003. This is the lights.
Beneficial. That's such a bad box.
So that would be, I mean, it still pulls.
Yep.
It's fine.
So the lights up here on the left here, you can see the crack in the side, but this is where they're all siliconed in.
Oh, good old silicone.
Because that's what we got, and that's what we had to do. It takes a lot of time to cut all that out, which is fine, but we got a lot of other things to address besides cutting the box side out to put some lights in it. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed and fixed around here because it's just old and it's falling apart.
What truck did we put new pins on and stuff?
New pins, we did 89. 70 got new pins.
85.
85. Dry. What all trucks did you do for pins? 89, 70, 85. 86.
Of course, 80, yeah, you already said 89.
There's more that needs to be done.
I was just curious, I remembered seeing it.
So yeah, underneath here, this is kind of the same shape as the rest of them. The framing of the box is cracking and coming off. It's rotted out on the sides. We'll make our way to the shed over here. Trailer. Just a little bit of trailer. It's been gone through and breaks out. This holds rollers for the summer paving jobs. Or you got a big huge culvert, you use it for that. Yep.
Nice piece of land, some white oak film. Such a medium, right? Yeah. Yeah.
This is where the guys hook the fellows up in the winter time. This is where they get stuck is on the blacktop.
Yeah, I didn't know you had map every time.
Is that backwards?
Yeah.
It will go.
Yeah, I always just thought it was just hooked up and laid around.
I can't wrap my head around it.
But I think the cities are always like that. There's a lot of hard stuff there.
No, I can't wrap my head around it.
Maybe a question from my dad, he would know. Got stragglers.
So, we wanted to kind of address to you guys the lights in this. These two buildings connected here. And we'd like to get something a little bit better in here. Well, they're a little spendy, but we do with less lights too. I mean, this is how much light you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't look at that. Right. And whatever reason four LEDs inside.
In 3 years, switch over to LEDs.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, you're saving money too. So this side is only heated from the other side. The other side's got the furnace in it. The only way it gets heat in here is we leave the entry door open, so there's no heat in this side. This building here, it's newer. I don't know the exact age on this one, but it does, when it rains or snow melts, the water runs through the insulation, along the insulation, down the walls, down the floor, then to the floor drain. Because it either needs to be re-steeled and re-insulated. Well, that'd be my guess. What it's gonna need, it needs to be gone through and repaired. It leaks not in just one spot. It leaks up here on this side, it leaks over on that side, and then it leaks over in the corner where we got our tires. They'll fill up with water at times.
So it needs a new steel roof?
Well, it would be nice to look.
Gotta go look at it first.
It would be nice to get looked at before we, I'm sure what, something's leaking.
Well, not so sure, that's pretty careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like the.
Yeah, I mean, you can see where the water
trees
curves.
on my house burned around. I had to put holes in to get sagging. Talk to the worst enemy in the hood. Don't let the water out of here. Yeah. I'm trying to get the best. We really got the morning.
Right. So, 71 here, that's the state truck that runs 27.
I believe we probably have the oldest state truck in the state.
20, was it 23 years old, 22 years
Yeah, I
old?
think it's a 2000.
Well, you better get a medallion for that one hanging on the door. Actually, looks pretty good though from here.
That box will require attention soon too, on the back, like every other one that we went through.
It looks just like our car, it's just like a chunk of difference in there for shape.
The underbody you pick it up that high off the ground. Yeah.
This truck actually got a whole brand new axle because it rotted through the actual axle. It's heavy duty thick axle. They got a whole axle because it rotted through the axle. So, and there was rust flaking, a tap on it, and it just fall off, and there was tons of pins. You're putting 5 gallons in it, because that's what they hold is 5 gallons. Put 5 gallons in consistently.
So it's got a lot of needs to be.
Well,
Yes.
the last trucks that were ordered. No, well,
They can be underbody.
we're getting our butts kicked by everybody selling their own because they got underbodies and they don't.
And the nice thing is, you don't see a lot of what you do.
But this stuff is built up, I mean, it just needs, then that's what you should look at.
At least have it
Look at it. Yeah, figure it out. But,
Cause you can't get any more miles on it.
They can, this is so.
Or as long as nobody uses it, you know what I mean? Cause it's a state truck, so you gotta make it last.
It's a good looking truck, body wise, really nice.
Maybe just use the other door over there and turn the whole hoist the other direction.
That one didn't get caps pumped, 70 got the caps pumped, but this one, the RPM gauge don't work anymore, and it's got wear, it's got length to it, you know.
So this last winter, we can have it, you know, what the heck, yeah? Well, here, a frost plug on the back of the engine rusted out. You got that ahead, so. That's not bad. Must not be doing a good enough job watching the video.
Now, if we do these lights, I've got to clear to the other side, then take the lights on.
Sticky situation there. Once you guys go through it.
Trying to remember what I priced a 60 by 140 steel building. Well, company in Texas, I wanna say it was 120,000. I need that big to put it up.
This would be another building, you can set 3-4 lights and LEDs on either side, get rid of these fluorescents, you know, updates in your lighting. We've had this for probably 8 years, I think. About 8 years we've had this.
Has it been that long?
I was here when I started, so.
Time flies when you're having fun.
This is crack sealer.
Okay.
You load the truck up, you dump them in, add the material, and then it comes out of one after them
Gotcha.
routers go through.
I'm actually jealous because I was in a like at the township.
That's a good neat one.
We're not that fancy, we got.
So this right here is our brine. This is our brine for the winter time. We took a lot of space in here. This is so water back here, that's the deep heat. They come outside here, they mix them up. And then they dump it in their little tank on the back of the truck. A lot of space, it'd be nice to have these outside of this building. There's the machine that mixes your salt water. We have to whip that out, bring the water truck in. We don't have water supply out here. Just fill the water
Are
truck
we
up.
using that as much as we thought, or, well, last winter wasn't a good example. I thought we discussed this once, we're really not using this that much
What's the question?
on the brine. It's not, I travel a lot. I don't see brine being used like it was, because I don't think it turned out to be, I think it was a flash in the pan.
Yeah, the only thing nice about it, I'm basically the only one that uses it, other than, you know, that gets a tank on it, but it weights the salt, so it just stays on the center line.
Okay.
The only benefit that I've seen from it, cause I mean, I've tried on 27, I've tried spraying the whole thing with the truck, and it doesn't.
Seems like it gets icier
Yeah.
afterwards, or slippery, I should say.
It's not.
I've been on roads where all they looked like they put on was the brine,
Yeah.
or some type of mixture. This was 10 years ago. No,
Yeah.
maybe they've changed it.
Well, they still have.
But it
vinyl
seemed like it
out.
made it worse.
It's, we don't have the capabilities to put out the amount that
Right.
they recommend anyway, so.
Like, we need a tanker truck to actually utilize what they want us to put down. All we got is little tanks in the back of the truck to basically activate the salt, is so they say.
Jerry had a good point, maybe we take one of those old dump trucks and put one of those tankers in.
Yeah,
We do that.
they have,
The box is bad.
they do make a tank that goes actually in the box and then, held in by the pin. And you just don't raise it, it's just a big tank. I think, Burnett County was looking at purchasing one.
Be nice if somebody do it first though, so we can see how it works out.
Well, yeah.
Instead of us getting first.
So this is just another thing that takes space away from us. We usually build a park in this location, but now we can't. This is the side that's heated, the furnace is right here.
Which goes out also.
Yeah, it's very sensitive, you gotta come out here and reset it all the time, it always shows signs of, the pressure inside the building, either too high or too low, so you gotta just come in, push the button, recycle it, so it warms it back up in here again. On this wall, this south wall here, I'm not 100% certain if it's leaking through the wall from the roof, or if it's still wet here. I'm not sure if it's leaking from the wall on the floor, or if it's leaking from the ceiling, but the water's not pouring in, this is still wet from water. So. And this would be our sign room here. Just something old basement, something like that. More of a want to make it easier for the guys.
That's okay.
The main thing out there is this just kinda has to have a little heat because they glue in the signs before they put them on. I know they sit on the helmets, but they're in a controlled environment until they go up here, it maintains better. So this is just the sign room with our state and county signs, townships. I know Jerry stopped in, maybe even your town stopped in and bought some signs because you need them. So in here we got flavor signs for the box. I have a pain in the butt for these guys to constantly come in here, pull these things in and out, go through them doors, or open that, kind of weasel through here. It'd be nice to get this in a better location so they can just pull the truck up, slap the stuff back in, the next day or two, whatever they go and do a job, they can come right back and grab them, instead of trucking two at a time in and out of the building. It's just takes more time for these guys to get their materials. And then you got all your signs in here. All your signs in here that you gotta come in and grab, depending on what you're setting up for your job.
So where would you put this if you had to relocate?
It'd be nice to have another building where we could set, like, say, them, and wing posts in that,
Yeah,
where the pickups were, get them out of the way, and then this whole stuff could go in that room.
maybe you pull right up the side.
You can pull right up next to it, you can set all that stuff there, and then it's easier for these guys to pull all this stuff in and out. You know, that would be an option, I mean, I don't know if that's attainable, but it would be an option to look forward to. So it'd be easier for these guys to put the stuff up so they don't stay in the trucks, cause if, you know, they stay in the trucks, they get banged up, they get the stuff thrown on them.
Makes sense to me.
So these are our emergency state trailers, these two. You can see how easy it is to hook up to it if it was an accident.
You pick that up and pull it out.
Yeah.
This is, the generator that runs in the building when, like that big winter storm, we lost power. This was used to supply power to the shop to keep us going while these guys were out on the road. So this also needs to be accessible as well as these trailers for emergencies. Yes. Got anything to add? Emily, you got anything to add? Troy? You good?
No, as you can see, guys, it's a cluster in here. It's just to try to get equipment out. I mean, it's not only just these big trailers and stuff, but we've got like the trash pump that we use quite often on the job sites. A lot of materials in the back there for guard railing and stuff. We're just out of room. Whole bunch of stuff against this wall too. That's needed, you know, job by job.
I'm not sure the statute standard on that.
Yeah,
That's why I used to stand on that. That's why the railing's on this. But, for that, we had a bunch of stuff, well, that was unsafe up there, whether it was the railing or I think it was more so the stairs to get up there because it was just like this, and you were too high. So we pulled all that off. Oh, yep, too high without being tied off. This, I guess, is what we got for you guys. Hopefully, someday we can kinda work on the list. I know it's not gonna happen right away, but hopefully someday we can kinda work on this dumpster fire, so to say.
Are all the loaders here?
Yeah, we were gonna look at them yet.
Yep.
That's on the north side.
Yep. We say the new one, but it's 9 years old already.
So this is for your signs and stuff, you know, all
These are just the emergency stations.
Also over there too, so you guys can take a peek at that.
Well, in all honesty, we're not gonna do anything. We gotta start looking at putting some new tin on these buildings or something to fix this rough cement. Can't just let water keep running in.
So they already patched over the fence.
Yep, that was what, that had, about a 3-inch high rail on the ribs of the steel, and they put insulation in there, and then went back over it with, that rubber coating.
They went past that rubber coating?
Yeah, they do it, but it's just a Band-Aid. I mean, I've dealt with rubber roofs before, and I mean, it seems like when you start patching, it's just a continuous thing, you know, they're chasing holes all over.
lot of this is what we were talking about. You're putting the weight of the machine on that. That all need to be fixed before I keep this. That boom is cracked right above where the cylinder comes in, just on the back side. That boom is cracked back there on both sides. One side's worse than the other. You can see where this is swelled on both sides. That was the reason we needed to get rid of this before it became catastrophic.
Now, is this something we could maybe sell for parts, or?
We could throw it in auction and see if anybody wanted it. So, see where oil's at? Oil. Up here. Down here. That is because of that brake pressure pump leaking internally to the engine case. Gear drive trains is leaking through the seal, and they're pumping it into the engine cavity. Yep. And this is the one where the transmission, Andy had gone through, and he replaced what he could at the time, and then it was that was 6 years ago, I think, roughly. And you couldn't get some of the hard parts then, so it needs to be going through again. That's the purpose of getting rid of this, because we didn't know what parts we could or couldn't get depending on what was bad. Right, yeah, it was hard parts. What was going on. This is that other single axle that's got the water tank for the rollers. This one right there, and part of the training replaced by Troy as well on 85.
And I see the hydraulic units all through the wall beside it.
Yeah, that's the one that's got the hydraulic double bank and the hydraulic tank. They'll have to be addressed soon. Here's the old case. This is something we'd like to, one of the machines we'd like to replace, as well as this one right here, the old cat. It's pretty worn out in there. If you put pins and bushings, 11 grand, you might have to send the bucket out or even the machine out to get everything re-sleeved because they're so far gone. So at this point right now, it's probably usable for minimal stuff, you know, unloading culverts, throwing a scoop or two in a truck and just leaving it at that. You ain't gonna send it on a job and run it all day. It wouldn't be feasible, it'd be bad. This is the one that needs 100,000 roughly worth of work between the pins and bushings and this being shot, the steps, the ladder, all that stuff over there. This is the one that's got a lot of high corn material in the engine oil. We got sample that. This has got like 18.5 or it's over 18,000 hours on it.
Yeah.
This is the one that for sure we'd like to replace because it does go in pits and it does load trucks quite a bit. This has had issues for a while. You drive it, the rear end bangs and snaps and pops. It's been rebuilt before and it's still done it. It's been rebuilt years ago and it's doing it again. So, this is a pretty old machine. This is the newest one we've gotten. We ran into some small things as well from using stuff. It just happens when we get a couple fuel lines on it. We had to put it down to keep going on a job. So they took the old John Deere, and it's got quite a difference in buckets. So 3 scoops versus 2 scoops. So there goes some of your time for the job, trying to save money, get the job done faster, sooner. Just the way it goes.
Can I just insert something?
Yes.
So these 3 loaders, the case, the old Cat, and that John Deere have been our main salt loaders throughout the years. When I started here, the case was always the one loading every scoop of salt for the whole fleet. And then we moved on to the John Deere just because of bigger trucks, needed quicker and stuff. And now we've gone to this Cat, and this Cat has been, I mean, it doesn't owe us anything. That thing has been used 18,000 hours. It was on the crusher when we had the crusher. It loaded that. I mean, it's been a good machine, but it is absolutely shot. The case has been a good machine. I mean, as far as what we've put into it, but it's just too small, and it's, you know, the bucket when you use that, it just everything is curling and popping and slopping. And again, with loading the salt, if I don't know, I can show you, but I mean, the salt just eats everything away. When you have multiple drivers come in, you know, they're tracking their salt and their sand in, and I mean, it just eats the cab away. If you look in either one of these loaders, I mean, it's just, it's bad in the cab because you just can't get it cleaned out. This one is way better just because we don't use it in the salt. It's a good loader for gravel and at the hot mix plant. But as far as dependability, the Cat and the Case has been far above, way better than the John Deere. We've had tons of trouble with that John Deere. Not to say that they haven't fixed their problems, but just from these loaders itself, these have been way more trustworthy, the Cat and the Case.
Yeah, so as far as that goes, I'll relay a little bit on the issues with this. We put tranny in it, transmission pump into it. And it's just to be had. We went through 3 engines. The first one went bad. The second one has gotten, the water pump blew out. The guy didn't know it. So we ended up putting another one. The one we ended up putting in it, we got, the head gasket was in wrong when they remanufactured it, so we ended up putting another one in it because we got a bad engine. But you can see, obviously, over time, the salt does. I mean, and it's old, it's held up very well. Yeah. You know, like these tractors got a lot of hours, a lot of mowing on them. They're really good, but there's going to be a day where something bad's going to happen with whether it's the engine, the transmission, the axles, don't matter. Something's going to happen with them because these are used a lot. Most of the winter, you got at least 1 or 2 running, trimming brush back. And they're great tractors, they've been doing good. But someday we'll have to look at these as well. Hour meters, I think, have been changed. I think there's 5,000. There are 2,000. I think one's a 2006 and one's a 2008. Do you remember, Andy?
I don't.
You don't, but they're in that range of age.
You can tell which side rides on the pavement.
What's that?
You can tell which side rides on the
Yep.
pavement.
Yeah.
You gotta have them. They do have it.
Yep. And then what helps is we have weights, counterweights on the back left tire, but there's also fluid in them that help counteract the blow itself. These did wonders in that big winter storm we had, where all them trees were down. These did a lot of work. They did a good job for us. It's nice to have them. Yeah, you can take that boom right there and just stretch right out. Like right now.
I mean, you look at that loader, we call it the new loader, but
The first year I remember correctly, it was like $1,500 to $1,800 they used it in 1 year. I mean, that's not how you think about a work year. You got 2,000 work hours in a year. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it was well for them. I mean, they used it that year. They did a lot of fixing too.
And there is something about the 966 size as far as getting work done with the hot mix plant. You know, that's our main loader there up there, and if that goes down, which, you know, it's fairly new, it hasn't too much, but try to make up with the used old one that is absolutely, you know, seems like half the power when you're going into the pile. or the John Deere, it's just not there. That size is, it's just nice. It's just nice. You can't say anything, you know, newer would be better, definitely, but that size is got what it takes to do basically all the jobs you need.
I mean, everybody thinks the county workers are lazy, and it doesn't matter because we get paid regardless, but we try to be efficient as possible. You know, we're taxpayers too.
That's why we brought some of this stuff to you. What's easier to get to, how much stuff we gotta go through to get some of this stuff done, or what we gotta pull the trucks out. You got an hour wasted there just to get a truck in, then you got about an hour at night to shut everything down, put it back in, because you don't wanna leave the stuff outside. You know, I mean, you got a lot of wasted time doing all these miscellaneous things to accomplish what you're trying to get to. Right, yeah, you can't just hook up and go. We don't have enough sheds for that. We don't have enough space or room, I guess, even so. That's what we got for you guys, unless anybody else has anything else.
Or any questions that you might have?
You need to start buying lottery tickets.
We appreciate you guys' time, you guys coming out here and listening to what we have for you. We really appreciate that.
I do hope that is true.
Well, right, and that's like I said, I mean, I know we're not fixing everything, but if we don't tell you guys, there's no way for you guys to know any of this.
Well,
we don't show you
telling
anything.
us and seeing it are two different things.
Well, that's
I
what
wish
I
there
mean.
was more board members here to actually see it.
Right.
But
You know, and if nothing's brought up, how can you fix anything?
Everybody can speculate on the board, they don't see what we see, but they can, you know, start off and throw something on the table, they have nothing, they don't even know what's on.
Right, right.
So, I agree with Jim, wish we had more board members here.
well, we caught some grief last year, over 750,000 allotted for equipment. Well, as everybody can see, 750 does not go very far anymore.
There's a lot that's sitting right here.
There's a $500,000 sitting right there.
Yeah.
You know,
So 750 doesn't even make a dent in the bucket.
Well, with 2 plow trucks.
Yeah, and so how many issues do we got with those right now, you know?
Right.
and yeah, it's 2 to 3 years for a plow truck.
One thing on plow trucks, they're coming out with a new emissions tier.
Yeah,
They're talking 20,000 increase because of the engines and the emissions
I just
tier.
read that.
Okay, you just read it, so.
But aren't we trying to go back away from DEF, I thought, was something that they're doing here with some of these engines?
Not quite yet.
Not that I'm aware of.
There's something out there, it's either
Cummins-
tractors or
Cummins-
something.
Tractors
Are
are
trying to-
4 tractors, and it's so much
They're trying to get away from the DEF altogether in those
Yeah,
engines.
mine-
But I thought
doesn't
Cat
have
was
it.
trying to do something too.
Cummins is, I know, they've already got stuff in plans, and it's just kind of a speculation of mismatch reading of what they're kind of doing there. They're not
Well-
gonna release exactly what they're doing yet, but.
In the past, they've done the extreme EGR. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I just heard briefly, someone told me about it, I haven't read anything, so I haven't gotten versed on it, but someone said they had heard that, so that's why I'm kinda asking you guys. if
we're
you've
not
heard
aware.
something
Yeah, I'm not aware of it.
But I am aware of what he just said though. The change in the emission level.
So in the year of 26, the beginning year of 26 is when they're probably going to implement this 20,000 increase. I mean, that's not set in stone, but that's what they're kind of looking at is if we don't order any trucks before then, we have to account for another 20 per truck. They're trying to implement this in 26.
you're
It
looking-
doesn't come out till 27, but they're going to implement it on the year 26.
On top of all the inflation that's been going on.
Right.
So you're looking at $400,000 for a plow truck.
Yeah. Right. You just increase your number by a significant amount.
And obviously we need like 10 of them. So, you know.
Let me ask a question on, you know, Gary's been pushing a lot of guys for a way to wash the truck. from what I see, a majority of time and occupation is on the trucks is rust. Would the wash take care of that, or knock it way down to considerably less? I mean, is it going to get in the inside, the outside, all the way around it?
So if you were to take a wash bay, so like I said, when these guys come in, you know, running a shift for 12, 14 hours, you gotta come in the next morning, or even that night, you don't want to, you want to sit in the truck, you're burnt out. You don't
Yeah.
want to wash that night. If we had a wash bay, that would significantly knock what's there and stop it from dripping and running down into them crevices and cracks. That's the issue you run with. They build a box, or they got a frame. That salt, when it liquefies, salt water, it gets in the crevices and cracks, you can't get everything out. But if we get a wash bay, it'll pull a lot of that salt and that snow and whatever stuff that's in there, and it'll push that down and away. So it would, in turn, help a lot. You know, as far as a wash
I'm
bay.
trying to figure out how some priority on this whole.
But between
There's been after that for a long time.
I would,
between that
And now when I
a
look at it, I say, yeah.
between that and a shed to house these trucks where it's heated, like in floor heat, to melt the stuff off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can drive through a car wash and it's still going to be an ice block. You know what I mean?
I mean, should that almost be what we're aiming for? Because I hate to keep putting up these little buildings, patch shops. Because then all it is like, it looks like a shit show when it's all done. But should a person be building a decent sized building with like an extra wall down on one end where these trucks can come into there, then go down in the corner, wash, and then go down and dry out and stay in the same building?
Yeah, you can have the same building with whether you section it out or not. They have a nice big wash bay or automated wash system, whatever works for our setting here. You can set the same building up, that way you can only need to wash, and you can just move right back around into the shop, or you can have it drive through right to the shop. However these can be set up. I mean, you have to get some blueprints and plans set up and look at what would be comfortable for us.
and then looking towards the future, I would just say purchasing the trucks with that single heavy frame to where it doesn't get into there, and stainless steel everything. If whatever you can, you know, like our hydraulic box, they have been being purchased that way. That's gonna help. That is replacing all these regular steel trucks with whatever.
Now we have a spec sheet made up when we order trucks too now, so that we're gonna order things the same.
And you
figure out.
myself have a list that we need to kind of go off of that, so I mean, these.
The past regimes, they didn't really come out to the guys and ask them what they liked or what they want in the truck. They kind of go whatever they think is best. Instead of getting kind of a committee.
Uniformity really helps.
Yeah, being
I would agree.
a committee that decides what we're building and how we're building it, you know, as far as just in our department alone. You know, like say a quad with an underbody that turns into a giant tandem that's, you know, it's huge. It's hard to turn around on a county road. Between that and we took the underbody off of one new truck, which should have stayed on there because it's a state truck. Just everybody needs to communicate a little bit more and better, get on the same page before we spend that kind of money.
And what we've had here, because the turnover has been so fast, is everybody's got a different marching order. You get a new guy in there, and he goes this way, and then the other guy goes this way, and so that's where you get the sporadicness of
Yes.
what we've purchased and how we've purchased. Even the board members. I mean, you know, I don't know how many have been on YouTube for a while, but new guys, you come into it, and if you don't get informed by anybody, which I don't know how much that happens with your guys' positions, I mean, you're flying in the dark too, you have no
The
idea.
committee's only as good as what the department head informs them of. I mean, that's the bottom line. Then after that, you gotta go do your own sniffing.
And that's why we're here, trying to help this out, get moving, you know, have an understanding of what's going on. We're trying to get this better. So you guys know what we know, and then maybe you guys can relay some stuff to us.
Well, I can tell you this much, that everything we looked at today, you're not getting tomorrow.
That's why I said right away, we just wanted you guys to be aware, we
But
understand.
it's good. It's good to see it. Like I said, this is the second time I've done it, and I saw a couple things today that I didn't see last time. So, oh, it's the beginning of the building study.
Yeah.
So at least 3 if not 4. Just the first meeting we had. That's right. I set it up out here to do a tour of the buildings, and we did a tour of the courthouse. Probably almost a good thing to do for the county board to do all together once every couple of years.
Well, I'm representative except for the highway committee. Which is sad.
Yeah, every election, I think it should be a new tour, you know what I mean?
You should see all the buildings. I mean, you know, and see what we need and what we don't need. Well, and you might have saw that agenda too and just thought, oh, that's just for highway. I don't know. Well, right.
My wife had to come up with his prescriptions. No, I saw it, and I thought that'd be in, because like I said, about 4 years ago on tour, now I see different things since we did on the whole study group.
Yeah.
And it works good when we do it on a day that we can bring the equipment back so you guys can see everything. You know, where you guys were here yesterday, after the trucks were out, these loaders weren't here, except for the case. So, I mean, it worked good.
We should almost have a tour in the wintertime, prime plow season.
Actually,
I still can't wrap my head around that.
it was winter, I think, last time.
They had the wings on.
Yeah, they had the wings. Or late winter maybe, or this spring.
So that being said, with the wintertime, we're stuck with one hitch. It's called a Houston hitch because it's a pain to hook these other hitches, which may be better, but we're stuck with these other hitches because you can take one guy and hook it up instead of having 2 guys there because you can't see where your horns are to hook to your truck. So you gotta have another guy there. Well, he's gotta hook his truck up, so he comes over to help you. Then he's gotta help him, and then in return, them guys are still not loaded yet, and they're not out of
That's
the
if you
yard.
don't get stuck in the snow and spinning and waiting for the loader to throw a scoop of salt in you so you can start to moving.
And it shouldn't take 20 minutes to hook up a plow in a state truck. You know, when it's time for us to go, it's time to go. But like you said, you gotta empty the whole barn to get your truck out. Then you gotta go grab your plow.
So how does that work? Yeah, okay, so when we have a couple, how many guys do we have on at night in the winter now?
0.
Last winter 0.
Did we change that?
We did, but we weren't called for it.
Okay, but what did
Yeah,
we allow?
yeah. What's it called?
We allowed 2, right? So as long as there's 2 here, then they'd be all right. But
Great. Yeah, you don't want anybody working here by themselves. I mean,
but then we were starting early if it snowed.
yeah, we start at, a lot of times we'll start at 4.
Yeah, I
State
think
will
that's
start
what
at
we.
4, county's usually at
We're
5.
gonna change up the hours a little bit. I just couldn't remember what all we agreed on.
Kind of the discretion of the severity of the storm. And,
Right.
you know, the goal is to try to beat the other county.
But yeah, you guys might come in and start at 4, but by the time you're not gonna get, if everything goes good, you might not get out of here till 5 by the time you check
Correct,
your truck over.
correct.
A lot of times.
A lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
That's probably a good day to be out
That's
of
a
here
good
by
day.
5.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 3 of them that broke down right away in the morning, you know, it happens because some fired up. When they move their wing around, boom, there goes a hose. I mean, and that's inevitable. Hose happens, but this stuff's so old that the hose isn't just degraded, and you can't go through every truck and inspect the hose and find a bad spot. It just happens.
Right.
You know, I mean, there are hoses we replace because they look bad, so you want to stop that from happening, but that stuff happens.
Yep.
Does anybody have anything else? I think we're good beating
Any questions?
We do. I entertain motion to adjourn.
So move.
Favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, carries. We're adjourned.
Alrighty.
Thank you, guys.